Hello. Am I the only one in America that feels like there's a big joke on them? Like a big joke, like an inside joke, and it's a big joke that they don't know that you're the inside joke or something, and they plot against you, and then they say, say what they need to say in private about you, but they don't ever, you know, tell you about what's going on in the world. We're all born, you know, with curious minds, and uh, we're born to be detectives and all that shit. Like, it's like, tricks on us when people talk bad about us and try to conspire against us and stuff. They do it on purpose, to bully the vulnerable and the ones that had a purpose. They try to use up all their good people. Today's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. But, it's just a plot to, until they get a plot twist. They use you and try to, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, but you get eaten by a gelatinous cube and nobody comes to save you until the gelatinous cube dies and you never are free. It's bullshit. It feels like you're the only one that can see your eyes, what you want for the world and what should be for, your existence and, your place in life. And people want to say, oh, you can't have the tattoos you want. And people want to say, I can't have the industrial piercing I want in my right ear. But my New Year's resolution is I'm not going to be a people pleaser anymore. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. And I'm not going to give no fucks. And I'm not going to, give a shit if they give me shit about it. Because they're the fucked ones. They're the fucked ones that screwed me over my whole life by imprisoning me with their jealousy and their not wanting me to be who I want to be and not letting me express myself how I want to express myself and shit. They want to say I'm crazy, that I don't get my own ideas, and I only exist in YouTube, and they get to infiltrate my life as far as me being alone and suggesting things and, placing their skull right by my, placing their face, their being right by me and dictating my life. It's bullshit. They're like gorillas trying to figure out a god. That's what I think he meant by, backwards outly dogs don't get to go to heaven because their dog is the opposite of geo, and uh in order to get to heaven you have to think like a god instead of a dog. A dog, instead of a dog, you have to think like a god and what would God do in this situation and you have to think about people's happiness and other people's well-being and you know how society works and all that shit. They don't give you like a crash course on life. They just tell you, oh, do what your teachers tell you and do what your schools tell you, do what your colleges tell you, and they want you to fit into their program and work at company. Do oh, that was strange. It got frozen. But they want you to do exactly what they want you to do, and like they want you to be a mindless sheep and not do what's in what your heart. At the same time, if you stand for anything, or if you all gather around to make sure that you're like a fool or like a clown or something for standing, in their blessed system. It's bullshit. You know, I think there'll be a time in the future, 2026 is like the year we're not going to take any shit, And that's when my next video is going to drop on July 1st, Maybe at night. So a week from now, yeah. People want to put me down my whole life, and twist every time. They're twisting a baby's head too. So I'm in front of a baby. They're twisting the baby and they're twisting me. Baby, I gotta protect the, innocent life and shit. And they just wanna, attack me and like say, oh, we hate babies even though we want there to be no abortions, and we hate, you know, Andy because he's innocent and wants to protect the innocent ones and all this shit. It's bullshit. It's not worth it being good and looking out for the Commonwealth. You think you're American and you got like, Alexa, what's the 18th Amendment?
The 18th Amendment, ratified in 1919, prohibited the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcohol in the United States. It was later repealed in 1933 by the 21st Amendment.
Anyhow, they can't chain us up and cruel and unusually punish us. It's bullshit how they treat us like we're prisoners and like we don't know how to use our eyes and like see what's going on. I shit. It's bullshit. And then they want to act like knowledge is king, and then they can, you know, control us by knowing more than us and all this stuff. And they want to have secret cults and secret meetings to plot against the common good people of society. They want to plot against the innocent souls. I think Jesus stood for, you know, people that wanted to stand out, against the, sheep, you know. Muslims want to say pigs are the sacred animal. I want to say sheep is this. I want to say goats are the sacred animal because, when Jesus told the story about two sons, a man had two sons and one went out and spent his inheritance wild living and tax collector and prostitutes and all that. You know, the older goat was always with God. A baby goat to celebrate with because he was slaving for the Father his whole life and never got to enjoy life. All right, this has been this video.